the year 2019, the Ministry of Justice took great steps towards the total transformation of our justice sector. New justice centers were established, more judges were promoted, and over 200 justices of the peace were commissioned into service. These and much more achievements await you in the 2019 year in review of the Ministry of Justice right after this break. I'm Sandra Johnson, your host. Don't go anywhere.
We're taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I am Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The plea bargain legislation has been passed. Many persons charged with serious crimes are spending several years behind bars. It did not have to happen. Accept responsibility for your wrongdoing. Get a lighter sentence. Watch your children grow. Please, don't gamble with your future.
A message from the Ministry of Justice.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 10. 10 patients at the Bustamante Hospital for Children who suffer from heart-related diseases have benefited from free life-saving cardiac surgeries over the last couple of days. The surgeries were done by a local medical team and a Chain of Hope UK with volunteers from the United Kingdom, Denmark, Canada, Norway, and Texas. They were performed between January 6 and 10 at Bustamante Hospital's Pediatric Cardiac Center. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton visited the patients on Wednesday and pledged continued support to the medical missions, which he said had helped to enhance the delivery of cardiovascular services. Over 400 children are born in Jamaica each year with congenital heart diseases. Approximately 240 lives have been saved during the past 2 years through the collaboration with the Chain of Hope medical mission. The cost to perform heart surgeries on each child is in the region of $5,000. Industry and Commerce Minister Audley Shaw has lauded the private sector for its continued interest in the local stock market. Mr. Shaw says both the junior and main markets of the Jamaica Stock Exchange offer rewards of economic independence for companies and citizens. The minister was speaking at last night's official launch of the First Rock Capital Holdings IPO. First Rock will open on the Jamaica Stock Exchange main market on Monday.
Your focus on the real estate sector is highly commendable because the real estate industry is one of the lead industries of economic growth right now. In fact, as you look around the island, whether in the corporate area, anywhere you look around right now, the real estate industry is alive and well, and it is vibrant.
First Rock Capital Holdings is an international investment holding company with a core focus on real estate and private equity investments. The shares have been split into two categories, Class A and Class B. Class A is for US dollar shares being sold at 12 cents per share, while Class B is Jamaican dollar shares being sold at $16.17 per share. The First Rock Capital Holdings IPO is aimed at raising up to $12 million US. Traffic signals along the recently upgraded 3 Miles corridor in St. Andrew were commissioned into service earlier this week. The National Works Agency NWA says the lights will remain a permanent fixture at the Spanish Town Road Marcus Garvey intersection of the roadway. The double-tier overpass bridge has been constructed at 3 Miles as part of the Hagley Park Road Improvement Project. The traffic signals will only affect motor vehicles at ground level. Senior Communications Officer at the NWA, Ramona Lawson, says the traffic signals will help to facilitate the safe movement of motorists and pedestrians while maintaining order on the road. She adds that the NWA took a decision to install those permanent lights at the 3 Mile interchange based on the increase in the use of the area by both motorists and pedestrians who have been accessing the interchange since the works have been practically completed. The US $56 million Hagley Park Road Improvement Project is designed to significantly improve traffic flow in the corporate area. Complimentary coffee tastings for visitors arriving at Jamaica's cruise ship ports commenced today. 4,000 cruisers and 1,700 crew members of the Norwegian Bliss, which docked at Ocho Rios in St. Anne, were treated to cups of the Jamaican product. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the initiative is part of plans to increase the presence of Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee within tourism marketing arrangements to improve export of the local brand. Globally, coffee is the second largest commodity traded, with exports totaling $20 billion annually.
We are also seeing coffee as a huge driver of economic well-being. Because not only is it a commodity for export and for trading in general, not only is it a means of income to a large number of small farmers and large farmers, but it also is a catalyst that enables a number of other economic activities to happen and a wider range of employment for a number of other people.
Mr. Bartlett says Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee will also be offered at the ITB Berlin Travel Trade Show in Russia come March. He made the remarks during the recent launch of the 3rd annual Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival in New Kingston. Visitors to Sam Sharp Square in Montego Bay will soon have access to free wireless internet service. Government will be rolling out the service on January 24. Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Homer Davis, made the announcement at the monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation on Thursday. The installation will be undertaken by the Universal Service Fund, an agency of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. According to Mayor Davis, the initiative will positively transform the lives of residents in the parish by providing an avenue for them to connect, create opportunities, and communicate. Other public Wi-Fi hotspots already implemented include Halfway Tree, St. William Grant Park, Olympic Way, Devon House, and Emancipation Park in Kingston, as well as the Cecil Charlton Park in Mandeville and Junction St. Elizabeth. And finally, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, says it will be partnering with the government and non-governmental organizations on social intervention programs to tackle crime. PSOJ President Keith Duncan says the entity is prepared to channel resources such as time, cash, or kind into underserved communities. He says data indicates that there are at least 21 underserved communities contributing to over 70% of Jamaica's crime statistics, which has risen to crisis proportions over the years.
We have to really be our brother's keeper and really look to direct funds into these areas. These are the areas that have been starved of resources for many years as Jamaica has suffered from crisis to crisis. We now need to focus in this area as we are building out our national security effort in relationship to putting resources there as we have this year. We now need to guide resources into these depressed communities to ensure that we are building our people, their capacity, and their ability to actively participate in our economy.
Mr. Duncan was speaking on Thursday at the launch of the PSOJ's 2020-2022 strategy. Among the other areas in which the PSOJ will be placing strategic focus over the next 2 years are human capital development, ease of doing business, increasing direct investments, corruption, and environmental sustainability. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come scam. Take time running, are we ready for the ops? Drive up on your block, step out now the block, cyber take away your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence to drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the under. From you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. Feel say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit. From you say scam, you better look out fit. When you move corrupt, better look out fit. Feel say you get wet, look out fit. Look out fit, look out fit.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
MOCA, MOCA.
Creating a first-class justice system is the mission of the Ministry of Justice. first-class service, first-class facilities, and first-class standards. Coming up next is a recap of how the ministry pursued that goal in the year 2019.
I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love.
The reform of the justice sector is a priority of the government of Jamaica under the National Development Plan 2030. But this new face of justice, Mr. Speaker, will graduate into what will be the mantra of the Ministry of Justice: first-class justice. Not only facilities, service, but the delivery generally across Jamaica.
– 2019 marked an extraordinarily assertive push on the wheels of the Justice Ministry. New justice centers were opened in St. Elizabeth and St. Andrew. These are designed to give citizens direct access to all justice services. A contract of just over $626 million was also signed to begin expansion works on the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
All the courts across Jamaica, all the justice facilities must be brought up to first class. Initially 1 star, but ultimately I want 5 star.
Last January, 10 judges were promoted to serve in higher positions in the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court.
Welcome to the judiciary.
In April, 8 more members of the judiciary were appointed to serve at high levels within Jamaica's courts. And still in appointments, over 200 justices of the peace, or JPs, were commissioned into service and trained in mediation techniques.
It's very often a thankless job, but I beg of you, do it to the best of your ability. Jamaica needs people like you who are willing to come forward and offer voluntary service.
A memorandum of understanding was signed where the UK's Department for International Development, DFID, gave the Justice Ministry $51 million to assist with streamlining court services. This includes restructuring the office of the DPP by transferring more than 60 clerks of court to that office.
So the idea now of the clerk of courts being taken out of administrative duties and just concentrating on prosecutorial work means that not only will cases be better organized, better prosecuted, but better outcomes will result.
– 2019 also saw a significant increase in the clearance rate for court cases. All accident backlog files within the chambers were cleared, and the Justice Ministry noted a constant reduction of criminal case backlog. In 2019, the Legal Aid Council launched its website, granting citizens greater access to its resources.
Today's launch of the website is a technological leap for the Legal Aid Council that will have a profound effect on the ordinary people of Jamaica who want to access critical information to get quality legal representation.
Last year also marked an increased installation of audiovisual equipment in the island's courts. 78 courtrooms are now able to facilitate digital audio technology, while 19 courtrooms can accommodate audiovisual devices. In 2019, Jamaica, through the Ministry of Justice, signed the Convention on International Settlement Agreements resulting from mediation or the Singapore Convention. This will ensure that settlements reached by parties are binding and will promote mediation as an alternative means of resolving cross-border disputes. Planned, executed, and fulfilled. The Ministry of Justice, balancing rights and responsibilities.
I'm sure my neighbors hear the screams and cries. I'm sure by now they've seen the bruises through my oversized glasses.
Can they tell I'm depressed when we speak?
Are they counting my frequent days off from work?
Domestic violence is any pattern of behavior used by an individual to maintain control or power over another. Domestic violence is not just physical, it can also be verbal. If you're in a relationship where you are being abused or know of anyone, get out and speak up. Report domestic violence by calling 119 or the nearest police station. Get out before someone puts you out.
The Dispute Resolution Foundation, DRF, is an arm of the Ministry of Justice that encourages the use of alternative dispute resolution techniques in the workplace. Not only does this increase productivity, it also enhances workplace relationships and supports the ministry's mission for a first-class Jamaica. Here's more.
This sort of conflict is unhealthy for productivity in the workplace. You guys can't continue like this. And she come in the morning and
I'm trying to show her, she just acts like idiot.
Alright, so here what? I have a video from the Dispute Resolution Foundation that I think you guys need to watch. Come with me.
A conflict is at its most fundamental, a disagreement. Workplace conflict has a number of significant impacts. There's a cost to conflict at the workplace. So someone seeing a dispute between two employees or between employees and the employer being played out in public might be inconvenienced by what is happening, but they're unaware of what's the cost. There are all kinds of costs, from personal costs, health costs, reputational costs, to financial costs. So conflict can impact somebody at the workplace. It can impact the production and productivity of the business. If you think of it, any workplace could find that between a supervisor or just between two employees, there could be an unresolved conflict and it affects how they work. So if we have to work in a way that says your work is affecting mine and vice versa, and we're not getting along, then over time what will happen is that we tend not to be very productive because we're not communicating with each other, we're not responding, we're not engaged. So it affects the organization's relationship internally, it affects the dynamics of that, it affects productivity, it affects communication, it affects a number of things. So simple things like management decisions may be impacted by conflict at the workplace.
Mediation is very, very important in order to solve conflicts like these and to ensure that we have productivity.
Conflict resolution is a very broad term used to describe different approaches to try and manage conflict when conflict occurs. So mediation is just one of those processes, a very structured process in which a neutral third party who is trained helps disputing parties to come to a resolution of their dispute. Now, at the workplace, that will be helping them to negotiate. So they may be unable to negotiate by themselves, so they may get somebody who is external to each of them to help them to resolve that dispute, and that person would play the role of a mediator.
So guys, this is where I come in, to sit with you both and to discuss the issue further. But before we get to the meat of the matter, there is just one more point to note.
Now, in order to do that, the mediator has to have some very effective communication skills. So how does the mediator communicate? And communicate in a way that includes both verbal and non-verbal, but at the same time interpreting what is it that the verbal and non-verbal cues that are coming from the parties. What are those cues saying? So the mediator has to be very effective at communication. Now, helping the parties to communicate may be a part of the communication, the larger communication skills of the mediator. However, at a particular point in time, mediator has to help the parties to negotiate. So the mediator has to be au fait with what negotiation is about, how are the parties negotiating, and help them to be able to negotiate in a way that settles the dispute that they have.
Alright, so as you guys can see, conflict, it's nothing new. Today was probably the first for you guys, and it maybe won't be the last. But based on the video that you've just seen, you can now tell the true effect of what conflict can do within the organization. So you see, it's very important for you to practice mediation and proper conflict resolutions. Now, having seen or heard all of that, what really happened today?
No go on general, no school, no work, no nothing.
Check this out. Maybe it can help you. That's what I go.
Are you between 18 and 24? Have you dropped out of school to look for work? Improve your chances by joining the National Service Corps. We will get you trained and certified and give you the start you need. This program has been designed to equip you with the core skills and support to succeed in the world of work. Grab your opportunity now. Apply for the National Service Corps program. Get trained, get certified, get ready for work. For more information, contact our Trust NTA or National Youth Service Office.
When a young person is offered a job, whether full-time or part-time, there are a host of benefits. Youth employment is a viable solution to crime fighting. It increases productivity, provides valuable work experience, and opens opportunities for growth. The government of Jamaica knows this all too well, and as such, the National Youth Service was one of the agencies created to foster personal and career development in our youth. Watch this.
The National Youth Service NYS is an entity that helps young people acquire life coping skills to foster their personal and career development.
Romario Wright, a young man who started here a few years ago as a very young and excited and exuberant young man, eager to work and wanting to work and to learn everything he could. He was hungry for growth, which he gained over the years, and coming here he was aspiring to use this as a stepping stone to get to university to pursue his career in hospitality management, and this was the perfect platform for him.
It was through the NYS that Romario was placed at the Milk River Bath Resort and Spa in Clarendon. It's an establishment he never saw himself working at, but later realized had all the facilities to help him attain his career goals.
I was quite surprised because I did not know that here existed at the time. So I should give NYS or the National Youth Service thumbs up for that. I started at the front desk where my roles or function expanded to different or various departments, which includes like restaurant and bar, storeroom, the bath area, and over the time I have developed an interest in this field of hospitality, and it was upon that I decided to myself that I was going to do something other than what I started with.
Since his first placement in 2011, Romario has capitalized on the opportunity and is now a full-time employee at Milk River Bath and Spa, as well as a student at the University of Technology, Jamaica. He remains grounded in his pursuits and accredits his success to the National Youth Service program.
Being involved in the National Youth Service, it has given me an opportunity as well as the second chance to basically go towards my dreams, my aspirations of being or becoming a hotel manager as well as other careers.
The NYS program is actually a very good program because what it does is it actually provides persons to the workforce that you would maybe you would not usually see or get an opportunity to even interview. And some of these people might be from the neighborhood, but they would not try to get a job here or even apply. However, going through the program now and being placed here puts a totally different outlook on working in the hotel industry. And this provides a platform for them also to go into a larger hotel.
The encouragement that I've got from my co-workers, especially my boss and guests that we tend to have here come in, especially repeated guests, which has encouraged me to move up, elevate myself, and from that time onward, yes, I've been doing that.
Based on his enthusiasm, he can reach high places. And he can be a manager in a big hotel somewhere down the road if he maintains this type of work ethics and attitude towards work. And he's a fast learner. Being here, he has learned to work in all areas. He can be placed in any department at any time to do anything.
If you are unsure of what you want or the career that you want to pursue in the future, I would suggest that you go to the National Youth Service. I see it as opening different avenues, especially exposing you to fields which you haven't experienced before.
If you are interested in kickstarting your career, visit any of the National Youth Service offices across the island.
By now, you should have all heard the good news. Both houses of Parliament have approved the bill to merge the Trust NTA with the National Youth Service, the Apprenticeship Board, and the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning. What this means is that the Trust NTA will now become that one institution responsible for the education and the training of our youth. Listen now as the Managing Director of Trust NTA, Dr. Janet Dyer, explains how the functions of the institution is helping to create a better Jamaica for our young people to live, work, raise families, and do business.
What we are mandated to do is to ensure that all our young and not so young Jamaicans, I want to say young and not so young, the Trust NTA accepts persons 17 and over. And we not only say to young people between the ages of 18 and 24, 18 to 29, that they are the only ones who can access the training from Trust NTA. We accept everyone. We have persons who have completed their careers and want to move on to something else, and they have come to us for retooling. We look at upskilling persons who are working in industry. We also look at working with the agencies to assist young persons who fall into what we call the unattached group. And these are not only persons who have dropped out of school or persons who are not able to do their exams. We have the persons with the 8, 9, 10 C6 subjects who fall into the category of being unattached by virtue of them not being able to move on to higher learning, or they're from an environment that does not allow them to access the kind of opportunities that they would like to access.
As we close off today's program, do remember you may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, if you want to watch today's program again or to catch our other daily video uploads. You may also follow us on all our social media sites for the latest information on government's programs and initiatives. Also, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another informative episode of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Sandra. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.